We're going to try and get through 10 villages today. This is the 4th village of the first shipment, so we are in Tala. Following the many surprises that cropped up in the first week of our trip, I had all fingers crossed as I travelled with Tierno and Sega from Gulf Engineering to a hotel in Kaolack, which is around 130 miles southeast of Dakar and the nearest large town to these villages. The purpose of this trip was to do a site inspection of the first 10 villages where we will be installing our solar containers. Right behind me is the place between those, the fork in the road there, is where we're going to be putting one of our containers. So this is in Amjai Mbulup. We're in the second village of Ngoy. Got some fans here. We're at Amdalai Mbulup. It's getting really hot though. It's like, oh man, I'm starting to melt. But hopefully this shawl will keep the sun off my neck. Villages are chosen based on population size and distance from the Senegal electrical grid, where electrifying using off-grid systems like ours is cheaper than running electrical grid power lines to the villages. The first thing that I noticed is that it was mostly only women and children in these villages. For 2/3 of the year, most men are away in larger towns and cities where they can find work, only returning to the village to grow crops during the June to September rainy season. So during this time, all the work around the village falls to the women, who undertake the heavy lifting with a smile on their faces. I went and visited these different villages just to find out more about the access, about the state of the soil, just in case we're going to have any problems, because there's been reports of big issues with big lorries getting through there, because a lot of the time the access to these are dirt roads of different kind of sizes, and sometimes it's a kind of single track which is dug into the ground, sometimes it's a single track which is above the rest of the ground, other times you're kind of weaving through big trees and stuff to get there. So there's really a lot to think of from how the lorry with a trailer attached to it is going to get through all these things. We started the third day of our trip dropping off Tierno for a meeting in Kafrine, while Sega and I continued on to visit the remaining 3 villages on our list. This time we didn't have a guide to direct us, so we would pick up locals on the side of the road going our way to help direct us to our destinations. The fewer villages on the day's itinerary did allow us more time to spend at each village, which we used to do some interviews with the village elder about their thoughts on the electricity that was due to be brought to their village. C'est le monsieur Dram, le chef du village de Kër Ngata.
Vraiment li mu seqal xaalis yëpp bëri. Am na machine nga manqué say ba nga seen. Ay machine ñoo fa nekkoon. ñàkk courant moo tax mënul dox. ñii ñu ngi segre soko ñii ñu ngi segre karab. ñu mu lay am 1000 ay lu ñu koy waxati machine kii. soudeur yi machine soudeur. yëpp soxla nañ ko. même garab bi ñu ko soxlaa ñu ngi dem garab bu ñu jaawale kër Paar. koor gi ñëw na fi ñu toll xam nga ko ñëpp dañuy soxla.
Et puis avec le Ramadan qui arrive là.
250 300 francs. ñu ñaan mo daal ñu ñaan daal yàlla daal mu gaaw daal ñu jàppale mu gën.
courant moom soxla na yàkkam ko ndax xam nga jamono dafa nekk sécurité. ñun fi ne nii bu ñuy wollu ji. wala ñu sarta suñu portable yi mag yi il faut ñu takk seen kër Abdou wala kër Paat. dégg ñu dégg gerte. wala moom nit da nga wal gerte da nga wal mboq da nga wal pepp da nga wal gerte.
surtout avec le Ramadan quand même qui
bu ñu jënd glace. ñun ñoo jaay ci benn bourse 200 francs wala 200 yu teg. 300 waaw. te dangay dem ba kër Abdou wala nga dem ba Sèvres wala. baax na trop ndax dana taxaw xale yi gën a sawar. xale yi jàng nii dana baax ci ñoom pour ñu mën di jàng guddi.
même pour l'éducation.
wàllu sàcc gi dafa bëri ci ndax
c'est exact
pour ñu bañ a yóbbu jur yooyu.
surtout.
jur gi dañ koo dajale benn place di ko garder sax guddi.
ils sont obligés de rassembler les animaux.
After these visits, we headed back to Kafrine to eat some jibby with the Galf team before setting off back to Dakar. We passed a project sign on the side of the road and also gained a young fan club along the way. From my side, the best thing that I've experienced this trip was the journey to Kafrine together with some of the Galf guys. Visit the villages to find out about the logistical side of getting these 20-foot containers out there and what the conditions are on the roads and access ways to get in, people coming up to you and just asking them about what it meant to them that they were going to be getting electricity and what changes this would make, what benefits that they foresaw with this. Join us next time when we return to Fullendorf to spend time with the team responsible for the final testing and commissioning of our solar containers before they get packed up and shipped to Senegal.